On this episode of the Startup Junkies podcast, we're joined by Gopi and Shannon from AssistNow. Tune into this episode to learn how AssistNow's bootstrapped beginnings and genuine connections led to authentic growth. This is the Startup Junkies podcast. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Startup Junkies podcast. Thank you for tuning in however and wherever you're tuning in from. I'm your host, Daniel Koonce. I'm joined here today by my co-host, Harrison Kitson. Harrison, how are you doing today?
Having a great day. What about you?
We are having a beautiful Monday afternoon here in Northwest Arkansas. Cannot complain. But we're joined here today by our two new friends, Gopi and Shannon from AssistNow. Gopi, Shannon, how you guys doing?
Great. Beautiful day outside.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming in. So the way we kind of like to start these, Gopi, you're the founder, you're the CEO. Give us your story. If you had an origin story, what would it be? Put you on the spot. Or you can go Shannon first if you like.
Yeah, you can go Shannon first.
Shannon, talk a little bit about your background.
Gopi has a great story, actually, and he'll let him add on here. But Gopi started this business, 4 years ago, bootstrapped it all himself. I don't want to take all his wind out of his sails here, so I'll let him talk about it some. But really, he started ERPs back when he was out of college. So, and came over here to Northwest Arkansas with a great story, and I'll let him take it from there.
Yeah, so me, I've been in the ERP space for almost 20 plus years. So, and then along this way, I always had this entrepreneurial bug in me. I've built various companies. Some have been successful, and some those are lesson learned. Mm-hmm. And that's how finally we ended up with AssistNow, which we started, which actually I started 4 years ago. It's around 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So when I saw a need for boutique firms in the Workday ecosystem, that's how I started getting into the Workday ecosystem, providing services to some of my existing customers. And slowly, fast forward now, so we are 35 plus company, and recently became a Workday partner. Mm-hmm. And we are right from bootstrapping to we're trying to scale up right now.
Well, congratulations. Yeah. 5 years is a big deal. That's 5 years is kind of the staple of this can be a really successful company. So for any of our listeners out there who might not know about AssistNow, can you just not dumb it down for them, but tell them a little bit about what it is you do?
Well, let's give them the high level. The elevator pitch is we do IT services for ERP systems, right? And for customers that either have an ERP or are looking for an ERP. And we try to use AI to help improve that and add value when we do that.
Can you define ERP for us too?
Yeah, sorry, I should. You're right.
Yeah.
Not everybody knows. Sorry.
Our listeners don't know what ERP knows. Me and Harrison,
we've got it down.
Know, but maybe some of our listeners.
And I meant to mention actually enterprise resource planning. So for us, that means HR, payroll, financial, supply chain, usually all in one package, but sometimes in multiple packages, right? Mm-hmm. And Gopi mentioned Workday. Workday is one of the bigger ones out in the market now. Probably over 50% of the Fortune 500s and Fortune 100s have Workday now. So that's the one we focus on. But with Workday, it's really all in one package. So that's why he really focused on that. That's why we focus on it today. And if you wanted to dumb down or just explain simply what we do, it's really, I say 4 things, right? One is we provide Workday staffing. If you're going through a Workday deployment, then we provide staff for that on the client side because it takes client work. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then on the partner side, if you're a Workday partner, we provide staff for that too because sometimes you just need more staff.
Yeah.
And we do that. And then we do consulting services after go live. So if you want to improve this or improve that, we'll provide staff to help with that and just do consulting projects. But then the big thing, and this is what I know Gopi will be excited about, is the AI piece of what we do.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're just scratching the surface of it, but we're using it in our day-to-day support. And we have some new applications I know he's going to want to talk about that he's very excited about. The man works day and night and weekends, 24/7. So he's constantly got that new idea coming up. And we'll talk about some of those AI things that he wants to talk about.
And also on the AssistNow, we do the advisory service as well. So we get into the client side right from before they implement, from choosing the software all the way to post go live. So we do all kind of advisory service. So on Workday and with the AI and other digital transformation side as well.
Yeah, so you guys do a little bit of everything, it sounds like.
Yes, yeah.
You guys
our primary focus is Workday. Yeah. So and then and since company goes through the AI with the current era, the AI transformation, and so we focus on AI and the digital transformation as well as part of our advisory service. Yeah.
Yeah. So was this AI integration, was this kind of your project, Gopi?
Yes. So we have a couple of tools which we built using AI, and internally we use AI pretty much for everything now. So from sales all the way to everybody uses now.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we use it every single day.
So much taboo about it kind of in our space. Like we have entrepreneurs come up to us all the time like, should I be using AI? Is that kind of cheating a little bit? But no, I mean, it makes our job so much easier.
Yeah. If you're not doing it, you're missing out at this point.
Yeah.
So how is the AI integration within AssistNow? How is it changing the way clients are working within Workday and other platforms?
Yeah, I mean, I can start with our Assist product. We use a product called Assistly, which he said we created ourselves. Yeah. We use it for our clients, and they can go in and type the question, hey, how do I do this or how do I do that? And we give them a response back in AI format, right?
Yeah.
That can also look on their internal network and say, okay, well, what are the days off for the year? What are my holidays? Well, you can go look for that and find it somewhere on your network, on a SharePoint or a Google Drive. It can also look at data and come up with that. And it can also look at our user guides on different applications to say, okay, well, here's how I run a report. Here's how I create a report. Simple things, right? But you don't think about how much that can help the general public and the end users in an organization. They can just type one question, pop it up, and they get an answer back. On multiple topics in the organization. So that's just one way we're doing it. But the other tools I think we're coming out with, too, are going to be even bigger than that.
Yeah. Are you allowed to talk about some of those tools you have in the works?
I don't know. Any of you want to talk about, or you want to wait?
Or are we going to keep it hush hush?
We want to focus more on our primary focus is Workday, since we became a Workday partner, and we want to focus on that because that's what we're trying to scale up.
Yeah.
And along with that, so as a byproduct, we will start building the AI tools as well, which can complement with Workday. So yeah.
Cool. So we'll ask you guys that question. We have you on next time.
We'll have a future one where we can definitely go over those because I think they're, I don't know if cutting edge is the right word, but probably with it, where we're at in AI right now, I guess they are cutting edge, right? Because a lot of people just haven't really touched the AI yet, right?
They know what it is, they don't know what it can do.
That's right. I mean, they might have gone to ChatGPT once and typed a question.
Yeah.
How do I do this? Maybe, right? But a lot of people don't know the prompts that we work on, and makes a big difference.
Who are your guys' competitors in the space, and why are people choosing you over them?
Good question.
Thank you.
Workday has, I don't know how many partners, probably over 200 partners. So we're competing against them too, but we also compete against, the big four partners that everybody knows of, right? We're not really targeting those, right? We're going to try to target the smaller, medium business market as much as we can. But we also have some clients that are 10,000, 20,000 employees.
Yeah.
So we can fit whatever niche that they want or they need. And we actually done some recoveries where somebody wasn't going quite where they wanted to be with Workday, and we went in and helped them out and fixed it. So there's kind of a gamut of different areas we can hit, not even just one industry. I focus on healthcare because that's where I've been for 30 plus years. But really, we have a telecom provider. There's 160 locations, I guess. And they're in how many countries? 30 countries?
20, 25, I think 25, 26 countries, yes. Yeah.
And that changes every day. And a couple others like that really aren't a specific industry, but multiple industries we work in. So I like to say we only did it for one industry, but Workday's everywhere now.
It's everywhere. Yeah, everyone uses it.
Yeah.
What is the process of kind of finding those clients that you're talking about and building those relationships with them?
It's the basic tackling of sales, really. I mean, that's a big part of it. Some of his connections, a lot of the connections that Gopi had from his previous businesses, has brought some of those in. We brought in Steve Petrovich, who's been in this industry for 20 plus years, maybe longer. He brought in some of his business too. We use chat something or Grok or DeepSeek or whatever to find different ways to do that. And there's 1,000 vendors that tell you they can find new sales pitches and new sales leads every day.
We are constantly trying different tools to see which works for us. Yeah, and Shannon has been in this industry for more than
over 30 years.
30 years.
But it gets down to relationships, though, right? I mean, I think that's the first thing. Depending on what product we're selling, right? For Workday, it's relationship based. So if you know people, you can get in the door. Otherwise, you can try LinkedIn, you can try emails, you can try calls. You might get voicemail, you might get the executive assistant, you might not.
Yeah.
So it's just, you got to keep at that. And to me, it's a matter of picking up the phone and making those relationships and reaching out those relationships. Gopi's connections have helped a lot over the years, and Steve's also helped a lot over the years. So now we're growing. It's a little bit different. We got to change.
Are a lot of these connections that you've had in your past, are they kind of natural connections, or did you make them like with, maybe in the future they could be a client? Was that in mind, or was it kind of just like you just made them natural?
I'm bad in building relationships. I'm not a good salesperson, so it's just like the connections which I had, and then the previous customers. And one of the value add, I'm not sure if I can say this or not. So I always tell my customers is just I always offer a money back guarantee, and so nobody in services does that. I say that because I trust in myself and our business. I've always, even when I was doing consulting, I say the same thing to the customers. If you don't like my service, don't pay me.
Yeah.
So,
but you won't hear that.
Never been in.
Yeah, I've never
been in an instant where nobody paid me. We have received.
Yeah, and that's just kind of confidence in your own ability to help people out.
Yes, yeah, mine, and then that's the same thing we do with AssistNow as well. It's just like we want to make sure that we take care of the customer. So otherwise, I shouldn't be in service business.
Yeah, and was that the kind of inspiration behind the not long-term contracts within consulting, kind of the pay-as-you-go model?
So pay-as-you-go model is one of the way easy to get into a customer's door, and then that's another one. Once you provide good service, the customer's not going to leave you. So.
But we still have to follow up on that. So if something doesn't work right, or if something's not going right, every organization has something not go right at some point, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Happens all the time.
Whether it's your fault or whether it's a client's fault, we can all go over that night and day. But when something doesn't go right, what makes a difference is how well we react to it and how well we keep the customer. So I think Gopi's done a great job of, hey, if something's not going right, let's fix it. Let's replace that employee with somebody else in a consulting relationship. And that's what has kept our customers.
Yeah, that thing, and then another one is one of the contract ended with our customers because they didn't have the budget to extend the contract. The contract ended, and even after it was ended, any questions, anything they ask, so we get into a meeting. Folks will still go and help them. We don't have no contract. We're not even charging them. So it really opens up other business opportunities as well. So because they came back to us, they wanted to implement warehouse with a different software. Where for the 25 countries, right? They wanted to do that, and then they wanted us to implement that. They said, "Can you guys do?" I don't want to name the software. It's like, "Can you guys do this and implement this for us?" So that's
sounds like you guys are doing business the right way.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure.
The way you're describing it makes me feel like the company's trustworthy and genuine and quite personable in the kind of way you go about business, which I think really helps build those relationships that people want to come and work with you.
Are you an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur looking to get plugged into the ecosystem? We host a ton of events designed for education, inspiration, and collaboration, from weekly meetups to quarterly events like pitch competitions and annual events like our marquee event, the Startup Crawl, which is the largest startup party in Arkansas. Check out our event page on our website, sign up, and we'll see you there.
Yeah, we also have some offshore resources, which I probably should have mentioned earlier. That really helps on cost. So I don't know if we're the lowest cost provider in the partner in the ecosystem, but we're down the scale because we want to be able to get in the door on those clients and then help them out and then make it more cost effective for them. I don't know about you, but the financial pressures in every industry right now are tough.
Yeah.
Right. At least that's what we're seeing. So if we can be more cost effective but provide a great service, like you said, then that's great.
Yeah. All right, Gopi, I'm going to give you a chance to brag on Shannon real quick. You mentioned that you're not, sales might not be your level of expertise. How has it been having a team of people like Shannon, team of salesmen that know what they're talking about? What has adding Shannon to your team done for you?
So Shannon has been a great asset for us right now. So Shannon, 6 months now?
Yeah, about 6
months, yes, yeah.
Congratulations.
6 months, yes. So I tried to hire Shannon like a year ago or so. He was with another company.
We didn't talk
Yeah.
I don't think he had the confidence then. Now he's got the confidence now to come and join us. Now, since he came in, it's just like we are I mean, in the Workday ecosystem, at least people are noticing us. It's just we recently became a Workday partner, and then it's all thanks to Shannon for all those connections. And we I want to lost a word for it. It's just it's a great value add for us. Shannon says, yeah.
And then we'll flip it, Shannon. What has it been like working for Gopi, working with him?
He's had tenacity is, I think, the word we've been looking for. We talked about it earlier, actually. To keep this going where it is. The reason we didn't come together a year ago is I had plenty of other stuff going on with consulting, and we're still growing, right? We still had to get to that growth stage. But I think now Gopi's got it where it is at that point where it can explode. I think we really are at that point. So he's really had the tenacity to keep it going for 4 years.
Yeah.
In addition, constantly either making those new connections he could, or adding those new applications, those value add he could. Right? And that's really what's got us where we're at today. And I do think we're primed for the next step, to grow an employee base, which that's not as important as growing sales and revenue, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to happen too now. Now with Workday partnership, that opens up some doors, makes us a little more credible than we were before. We still do the same services, but gives us more access to resources too. So,
what does that next stage that you're talking about kind of look for y'all? Like, how does the company look in 5 or 10 years, even, or kind of are there any things that y'all looking to focus in extra hard?
Yeah, you want to take that one?
Yeah. So currently we are not big, so we are around we are like 35 right now, and then we are expanding. So we recently opened an office in India. And we have set up a company in Singapore as well. So we're expanding. This year, we're looking at around 50 headcount. And in 2 years, we want to cross, by 2027, we're thinking of at least 100. Now, with the AI coming in, maybe the headcount will start reducing. You'll have more AI agents to work with. So, but our goal is we want to, as we scale, and then, so far it's all bootstrap. And then, so we are not hiring crazy. It's just be cautious on spending as well. So.
And is that bootstrap method the way that y'all kind of want to continue for the inevitable future, or?
Yes and no, maybe.
No.
Yeah. So for now, I like to do that way. So I thought probably we can stay. So I don't want to go crazy on scaling up crazy as well. So now at this stage, I'm pumping in some my own money as well into it, because I know the company's got potential to grow. So I'm bringing some money from other businesses and putting it into this company. So that's one way I'm scaling it.
Also, that kind of slow, genuine growth is kind of a way to keep the core values of the company together, as opposed to if you're exploding all of a sudden and then rapidly changing, new people coming into the office. It sounds like y'all are really prioritizing that trustworthy, genuine company as you're doing that.
If any of our listeners are out there and they're considering, starting up their own company, can you tell them a little bit maybe on how to successfully bootstrap a company?
We talked a little bit before. Yeah.
I can. There's a lot of people out there who can tell how they can successfully do things. What I can tell, what to do, what not to do.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing.
All right. What to avoid?
And what to avoid, maybe. Yeah. So I went through a legal battle of 10 years for a non-payment. A simple issue became a big issue for almost 10 years. With that, I've learned a few lessons along the way. One is you always have to make sure you read the fine prints in the contract.
Yeah,
that's one simple thing led me to different things. And then another one, I also said, do not do business with friends. I mean, if you do, make sure that you have everything laid out upfront, so that way it's one way to keep, nobody's bad. It's just one way to keep honest people honest, right? Make sure everything is laid out front, because these are two valuable lessons I learned the hard way, maybe.
So read the fine print. Don't do business with friends. If you do, lay it out.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Because at the end, it's going to get ugly.
It's going to get ugly.
Yes, yeah. When things doesn't work out your way, it just get ugly.
Would you suggest even potentially keeping, let's say me and Harrison go into business together, keeping our, professional and our personal relationships separate?
You try
the best you can.
Try, but it's somewhere it mixes up. I don't want to get political thing involved in right now, but we know what's happening right now
butt heads. Yeah.
Okay, I think I know what you're
Yeah, we'll stay away from that topic there.
I do want to know if they're actually friends, though.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's another podcast.
Okay. We don't know.
Moving on.
Who knows? Well, Harrison asked you kind of what the future looks like. I want to ask you to go the opposite direction. Shannon, we're going to start with you. If you had a time machine and you can go back in time and give a younger Shannon a piece of advice, what would it be?
This is my third startup, actually. I did 2 others back in the day, and I learned a lot of the lessons he just mentioned back then, too. And they were here in Northwest Arkansas in healthcare IT. So I thought when I got into those, I knew what I was doing. And I did. We had a lot of good things going on, right? But there's still some things you learn in starting any business as you go. And one of those key things is desperate people make desperate decisions, right? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So if you just need that next $10,000 to help make payroll, you're going to make some desperate decisions because of that, right? So you just got to make sure you don't do that if you start those. But if I were back in the younger Shannon and said, hey, this is what you should do, personally, I went into a hospital and went straight out of college into a hospital and worked in IT. I love programming. I love that IT stuff. So that's what I did. And it was a great career. I can't complain about any of it. I would have got into sales early, honestly. Yeah. There's good money in sales long term. When you're 18, 20 years old, maybe you don't feel like you're as aggressive and ready for that. But you got to start somewhere. So I think if I were to do it again, I would have started in sales back then. That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's pretty good advice.
Even if it's selling books, I don't know what it would be, but something simple, going door to door, selling pest control.
Yeah,
whatever it is, I would do that starting off.
Well, build skills you can use in just about every career.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Maybe not IT, but
maybe not.
Yeah, but just about every other career, every business career, sales background is huge.
Absolutely, in many ways.
Okay, Gopi, it's your turn. Give a younger Gopi a piece of advice.
I think I've just told you that the thing what I should have avoided.
Read the fine print, maybe.
Prints, yes, yeah. So
okay, give me a second piece of advice. You can go young Gopi. You can do 12-year-old Gopi if you want, or you can do yesterday Gopi.
Probably next week Gopi too.
Yeah.
Is there anything more towards like your personal growth as an entrepreneur? Like any kind of hurdles you've had along the way in terms of maybe work ethic or in terms of building, I don't know, your identity as a professional, anything kind of relate to that maybe?
I'm just thinking. So
yeah.
So
we can give you a cop out if you want. Just say invest in Bitcoin.
That's a great answer. That's the answer that most people give.
For him, it'd be real estate, right?
Invest in real estate. Yeah.
You've done pretty good in real estate.
Yeah. So I've done multiple businesses. I always from different areas, from hospitality all the way to real estate. Venture in different. I think the entrepreneur bug was in me from a young age. So I tried different businesses. So
yeah. So maybe just try different things.
Different things, but I don't know if we want to roll this on. But
we'll roll it on. We'll roll it on.
Those things. So.
We'll keep this one. Cool. Well, if any of our listeners out there, they want to learn more about you guys or they want to learn more about AssistNow, where should they go?
AssistNow.com. We have a lot of information on there. All our services are on there. Of course, we have a LinkedIn page and all that as well, but that's the easiest way to get a hold of us.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in today. We appreciate it. We're looking really forward to the next big explosion, as you guys said, in the next couple of years. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share with a friend. Subscribe and review because it matters to us and we want to hear from you. If you're interested in learning how to work with us, check out the information below. See you next week.